Office Farley. I've just been sitting here browsing www.thatguys.co.uk and also having a look at the socials. You know, the ones where it's kind of like at that guy's a maniac, all one word, lowercase, for like Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's this brand new 14-year-old game called World of Warcraft. You ever heard of it?
No.
Ah, maybe we should get the guys to talk about that. I wonder if either of them ever play it.
No, it doesn't sound like a good idea. Maybe we could do something about dogs in games.
Dogs in games.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's a topic that nobody has ever broached on. Or maybe
top 10 dogs in games.
Yeah, or dogs you can pet in games. Yeah.
I think you could do like all the different Nintendo dogs.
Yeah.
Probably 5. and then that one where you play as a dog. I don't know. Is it called A Dog's Life?
Yeah, there's also the dog in Resident Evil 4.
Is it a dog or is it wolf?
I mean, drawing that line is pretty tough, is it not?
Does Paw Patrol have games?
Probably. What other dogs are there? Oh, there's Family Dog. I believe they did talk about that old SNES game.
Family Dog.
Yeah.
Does the dog Pokemon count?
Dog Pokemon? No, not really. Yeah, I suppose they can.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we should make this a 3-part dog special.
Yeah. Okay.
Charting dogs through games, and I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah. So let's get the guys to do that.
Lord of World War. What was it? The other one you mentioned?
I've no idea. It was some 14-year-old new game.
Okay. Yeah. Let's definitely not do an episode on that.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. So the first dogs in games.
Does Growlithe count as a dog?
Well, I think you can draw a whole evolutionary tree, right? So you've got the legendary dogs, then you've got Growlithe, then you've got Poochyena, and then you've got Mightyena.
I'm just sort of meaning because he looks like a tiger.
Yampa, and then you've got Boltund. Yeah, Growlithe now kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Everything about them's weird.
I mean, it's definitely Growl, as in like a puppy growls, and then our canine. But they look very cattish.
They're a bit like a tiger, but then the new forms are like Chinese dragons.
Although they're more like the jade statue dogs that you get, you know, the ones where they carve out and they've got the ball in the mouth.
Yeah. Aren't they dragons rather than dogs?
Oh, I don't know. I always thought of them as just dogs, but they very much could be dragons.
Okay, let's get the researchers on this. I think this is a solid idea for an episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we done?
We're done. The Office.
With the Office bit, good. So
this is That Guy's a Maniac podcast. We talk about video games. My name's Kenzie11. This is Richie. Every season, I am contractually obliged to do a World of Warcraft episode. It was a concession that I made in order to get running water in my office. So this is our seasonal World of Warcraft episode special. If you've not listened to all the previous episodes, I don't blame you. But we're charting Richie's return, although in some senses he never really. No, you left for a long time.
I left for a long time. Yeah,
long time.
Yeah.
But he was drawn back into the World of Warcraft largely thanks to World of Warcraft Classic,
yep.
Which was a re-release of it, and in particular the Countdown to Classic podcast, I think, built your hype up, right?
Yeah, it really did. Yeah.
And so it's been interesting, a novel experience, be playing a 14-year-old game, but kind of being new, because if you listen back to the older episodes, first of all, you kind of weren't really sure whether it was what was going to happen, if they were going to follow the chronology of the original game. So when you first started talking about it, we didn't even know if the Burning Crusade was going to come out, right?
No, in fact, I was in camp. Why is there no news about this game? Are they ever even going to release it? Everyone seemed to think it was a dead cert, but there was like zero word from Blizzard to actually say, "Oh yeah, it's coming out."
And if you have listened, Richie's deluded himself into saying, "Yeah, I'll probably, I'll just do to the end of the next whatever expansion or wave of content."
Yeah.
And here we are. So we're in D&D style. Where did we leave off?
Well, I mean that was going to be my question to you, just to sort of see how much you paid attention last episode.
Something about armor and raids and Nagaroth and Tragaroth and
So
Gordorov.
None of those are things, but Naga is definitely a thing.
10-man tier 3 Gorgodoth, which we IRC'd in.
All right, okay, you've made your point. You didn't pay attention.
Well, after the Burning Crusade, it kind of got less interesting, I think.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. There's definitely less.
There were like dripping bits.
Yeah.
Because the interesting bit, interesting is the only adjective I'm using today, is that they're sort of following the original release of content, right? But then when it comes to all the fixes and stuff that were made in patches, those are kind of coming out super condensed. So you're not literally waiting.
No.
Back in 1998, it took them a month to do this patch, so we're playing it slightly broken. It's not exactly mirroring old WoW.
No. So basically, what you get, and what they did in Classic and also in TBC, is upon launch you get what is essentially the final patch of the game, which had all of the tweaks, it had all of the updates to the character trees, it had any fixes in there, but they're actually releasing the content, each one of the raids, as they kind of did before, and kind of being a very, very a loose term, because in all actuality most things were available. They were just gated behind quests and availability and that kind of they changed it. They just changed it, so they've got different phases for each one of the different tiers of raids. And right now, what phase are we on, Farley?
Sorry, I drifted off. You said something about Paladin?
God damn you.
And how you quit the Paladin like you promised you would. And now you're playing as a gnome.
No, I'm not playing as a gnome. Come on. I'm playing as a warlock.
Okay.
Human warlock.
Human warlock. And what phase are we on?
We're on phase 3. Okay. So phase 1 was the initial opening of TBC. There was...
Okay. Yeah.
I'll do it quickly.
Yeah.
There was one raid, Karazhan, which was 10 man.
No, I want you to talk me through every single NPC admission.
We're not going to do that either.
Phase 1. You start in the... Where do you start in phase 1?
Where do you start in phase 1? You start in Hellfire Peninsula.
You start in Hellfire Peninsula.
You walk through the dark portal. It's awesome.
Okay. And then you talk to...
You talk to a dwarf who sends you to the flight point. The flight point then takes you to Honor Hold, and then from Honor Hold you start to do a bunch of quests. You kill some orcs, you do some things. Tick, 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 talk.
And that's the compelling storyline which has made World of Warcraft such a worldwide phenomenon.
Hey, there is a storyline that yeah. Anyway, Fate. Right. Where was I? You really interrupted. Right, so we got a 10-man raid on phase 1, which was Karazhan. We also got a 225-man single boss encounters. They were big raids, but they only took like 5 minutes to do. So that was all phase 1. Phase 2 was the opening of Tempest Keep and Serpent Shrine Cavern, which is where you might have heard me talking about Blood Elves and Nagas before. Are you even there?
Yeah. Something about, you said something about naggers.
Yes. And those were the two big 25-man raids, and they were very hard upon release. But they did end up getting nerfed, and by
I
nerfed...
hope you appreciate how I'm resisting all the culture. Carry on.
Right.
25-man raid, which is very hard.
It's not like you to resist cock.
Right.
Very
hard on release. Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So they nerfed the content, and basically Tempest Keep the Eye and Serpent Shrine Cavern became very, very boring and super easy to do. And the final boss encounters just became a sort of shadow of their former side. So that was sort of like what happened with phase 2. But phase 3 started about a month ago.
Oh, okay. We're bang up to date.
So bang up to date, and this introduces 2 new raids, both 25.
How many men?
25 man. Yeah.
Are women allowed? Yeah.
Yeah, of course they're allowed. And in fact, with the
In fact, we've got 2 in our guild.
With the Black Temple patch, there was a little bit of wokeness add to the game as well. So they actually have added stuff to the game. So where there'd previously been sort of harem dens that were all female, there's now a mix of male and female in there as well.
Okay.
And also the warlock got a new pet. So warlocks have traditionally always had an imp, a fell hunter, which is a kind of dog, and we'll talk more about that later.
Hey, we could do a whole episode on dogs in games.
There we go. There's the link.
Hey, we did it!
Hey, right. So that guy's a maniac. No.
Why'd that dog bite? Why'd that dog bite me?
No. But we're not finishing there. You can't get off the hook that easy.
Okay.
No. Right. So they traditionally have a few pets. One of them's the Voidwalker, but another one that they've always had is the Succubus.
Voidwalker.
Yeah, the Voidwalker is a big sort of blue, purple, tanky pet.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, also was the Succubus.
Mm-hmm.
But to balance that out, with the bringing in of Black Temple, they brought in the Incubus as well. Exactly the same, except it's a guy.
I like that one song by Incubus.
Drive.
Is it the one that... Oh, no, maybe not. The song I'm thinking of is like, it's so much better. That wasn't Incubus.
When everyone is in, yeah. That is definitely not Incubus.
Why am I thinking of that?
Are you in? Oh, wait a minute, it might be Incubus actually.
I think it was like their most mainstream song.
Yeah, it is Incubus. Yeah, it really is. There we go.
I know 20-year-old popular culture.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Right.
But I think Drive's a much more popular one. I don't know, like, anyway.
How does Drive go?
I'm not going to sing it.
That popular, eh?
Yeah.
So they added the band Incubus to the game.
So they added the band Incubus to the game.
And whenever the Warlock summons Incubus, that song plays now.
Yeah. Not Drive, it's Are You In? Yeah, exactly. So, yes, there has been some changes to the game. They also changed and removed certain references that are not woke as well. So, they used to have a reference or characters in the game which were called Finkel and Einhorn, which I don't know if you will remember from Ace Ventura.
No, that nugget of wisdom has been lost through the years.
Yeah, well, basically, Ace Ventura, the whole scene of Finkel and Einhorn is sort of looked back now as very transphobic. So they removed all the references to that as well. So
Yeah.
a bunch of weapons got different names. The characters, NPCs have gone and things like that. So it's just sort of changed around. There was also a few of the guys who were involved in the whole Cosby sofa shenanigans at Blizzard. They had their names in the games and they've been removed and changed as well.
Oh, that's going to make a difference. Good on them.
Well, it's better that they're not in than they are still in. You know,
That's true. Token effort, but it's the least you can do, and at least they're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, it is something. But yeah. So, yes, a few things happened with Black Temple, and that is the name of one of the raids. And Black Temple is actually maybe a character that you've remembered because you did play some Warcraft back in the day.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about World of Warcraft.
No, but Warcraft as well. Do you remember Illidan at all?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's such a generic fantasy name, isn't it?
Really, but Illidan.
Is he a paladin?
No,
the paladin?
Illidan the Paladin would be awesome. No, he's a
What's
demon
Illidan
hunter.
the Paladin's? What's Illidan the Paladin's favorite Disney movie?
Is it Illidan?
No, it's Beauty and the Beast.
I can't believe it called it Aladdin. Who calls it Aladdin?
Well, I think after you say Illidan the Paladin, it's really difficult to say Aladdin.
Aladdin. It really does mess you right up. Oh god. Anyway, yeah, Black Temple is Illidan's new pad. And he's got a bunch of people in there who, basically they don't like him that much, but he's also got people who are quite faithful to him. The Illidari, as they're called.
No, let's. So I don't know the Black Tower at all, but in my mind,
Black Temple.
It's very like nice, positive colours, like pastels, magnolias.
Well,
with
there
gardens of blooming flowers, Pegasi flying across the sky.
There is actually some bits of that in there because once you start off in the sewer, of course, and you fight a big fish dude, and then you go up the ramp and you come to a sort of training ground where there's a bunch of orcs and there's some orcs on dragons that you slay, and then there's a great big massive sort of rock dude who's on fire, and he's the second big boss that you fight, and he's quite a good fight, lots of running about and dodging volcanoes that he makes. Then after that, I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's some really cool encounters in Black Temple. One of them is called the Reliquary of Souls, and that is just messed up. There is this sort of like weird sort of facehuggery thing holding a cube, and the cube has 3 sides. Don't get into it. And it has 3 different faces, and the different faces are different phases of the fight, and one of them, the very first one, is actually you just can't heal at all. You can do no spells that have any healing effects on them and things like that, so it's quite a tense situation.
Is it like that judge robot from Transformers, the movie?
Yes, exactly like the Quintessons. Yes, very very similar, and it's quite a creepy boss, and I like it a lot.
What was that He-Man character who also had the faces?
Many-Face.
Of course it was. It wasn't going to be Janus or Gemini. It's going to be many. So Many-Face, what's your special skill? Oh, I can shoot spider webs from my hands.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Man-E-Faces.
Okay. Bit of grey matter work together.
Yeah, I had to look it up, but yeah, it was I remember it being like Many-Face, Manny-Face. Yeah,
because he's kind of got the like Ultimate Warrior glam face, then the robot face, and then the really fucking scary green face, right?
Anyway, yes, terrible He-Man character. Not as bad as, what is it, El Fisto or whatever his name is.
And then the totally not 2022 appropriate evil version of the Fist Man, who instead of having a fist had like a judo chopping hand.
Oh, okay.
Carried a katana.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, probably called Judo Man or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this boss fight with the many faces.
Yeah, that was it really. Reliquary of Souls was really, really cool. You continue on through the Black Temple and you actually go to some gardens.
Are there any reliquaries in Reliquary of Souls?
Define a reliquary for me.
It can be like a statue or an alcove which holds a relic of some sort.
So I think the kind of facehuggery thing that I was talking about is the reliquary itself, and it holds this box. It kind of organically releases it, and this box with the faces starts spinning and floating around in the room.
So are there souls in the triangle cube?
The triangle cube? Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. Right, name checks out. Reliquary of Souls.
Yeah. Souls are a big part of the game. I use souls as currency as a warlock as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it like a bank? It's like a Reliquary of Souls is like a bank to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go into the bank, get some souls out.
Like literally that is a thing you can do in World of Warcraft. I have a bag with soul shards in it. Yeah. I can put that bag into the bank, and I can take it out of the bank and take it away.
Okay.
So, mental, but there you go. That's a thing. Okay, so right, we've talked about Reliquary of Souls. Yes, you move on. You go to some nice gardeny bits.
Nice.
And there's other bosses in between, but there's another big boss called Mother Shazra. Sharad, not Shiraz. That's a wine. Shazra. Yeah.
Shazra. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her deal? Their deal.
Well, she is a shadow resistance chick. It's not very interesting for you, but basically you have to re-gear to have a reasonable amount of shadow resistance, because the things she does do shadow damage and you want to not get shadow damaged as much as possible. But yeah, it's a fun fight. She knocks you up in the air, so you have to try and find a place where you hit your head off it and don't get knocked up into the air as much, because you'll take fall damage otherwise. And you just basically, every so often, 3 people will randomly get teleported away together, and they have to run away from each other as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Because they've got this bond, and they have to get, I think it's 20 yards away from each other. And it's mental, because actually trying to strategize or tell 3 people to go in 3 different directions is quite a hard thing to do. You know, you can't just say everybody's, go north. You need to split second. Right, everybody go in a different direction.
So go forward.
Or go north, or go south, go east.
So everyone go forward.
If they all go together, they're going to keep that bond thing.
If they're all, regardless of where they're facing, if they'll go forward, they won't be together. Unless they're standing in a line, which is a highly unlikely formation.
Well, I mean, you're assuming that they all get teleported facing different directions.
Yeah, there's a high chance of that than all facing the same direction.
I think they're all facing the same direction. You just have to choose a different direction and go. Because I think... Well,
next time you do it, just try and make it.
I've been so lucky. I've only ever had it happen to me once. But yeah, it's a thing. And yeah, you just have to run in a different direction. And people have got different strategies. They put on rocket boots so they can run really, really fast away from it. And yeah, you have to have shadow resistance gear, otherwise you will do things. You also can't walk near the rest of the raid, as if you do that whilst you've still got this debuff thing, you start damaging everyone, and it's very, very hard to heal through all of that. But yeah, it's a fun boss fight as well. After you've taken down Mother, you then go on to the Council, which is 4 people who have a shared health pool. It's quite hard, quite hectic. There's lots of...
I mean, they were really out of boss names at this point, weren't they?
I mean, it's fine. It's the Council, you know. It's like... yeah. I mean, it's not like the local council. It's not the people who are sorting out the band of, you know, like where you live in Outland. You know, they're not sorting out.
Yeah, but you know, it's a panel of why don't you make it
it's the Elidari Council. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. I think Freud would have a lot to say about these World of Warcraft bosses and their names.
Yeah.
So you fight your mother.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
Okay. Tell me about the council. Is there?
Basically, that fight is a lot of moving about. There's a lot of spells on the ground. There's blizzards, and you just have to move around, and you just really have to concentrate on making sure that you're damaging as much as possible, and also Warlocks do have a little extra thing to do, which is to put up Curse of Tongues on the spellcaster, and basically slow down her spell casting. But that's it's just a little extra thing they have to do. And then the final boss, Illidan, with his glaives. Do you know about the glaives of Azeroth at all?
Is it like the Gracidia flower in Pokemon?
Somewhat.
Oh yeah, then yes. Yeah, I know it.
They are green, and there's 2 of them. They are also the legendary weapon of this patch. And they only can go to warriors and rogues. So they're great big green blades, and everyone's very excited. We managed to get 1 drop so far, which is quite nice. But along with that, Illidan also drops some very, very spicy Warlock loot as well. Are you excited by this?
Yeah, I'm very hyped. What is the spicy Warlock loot?
So,
is it like the lustrous and adamant orb from Pokemon Diamond?
I feel like I might have already sent you a picture of this. I'm going to send it to you again as well. Basically, with the new raids that have come on board, and I'm sort of fast forwarding ahead a little bit here, there has been a new stat that's become a bit more widely available to everyone. And I know you're already like, a stat. How can you get excited by a stat?
I wasn't thinking that at all, actually.
Oh yeah, okay. What were you thinking?
I'd like you to rescind that. I was like, wow, a new stat. That's incredibly exciting.
Right.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Good. I'm glad. So
come on, you've kept me hanging. I'm on tenterhooks. What is this new stat?
Do you know what the other stats normally are
yes.
in games? So tell me. Tell me some. But yeah.
Speed, HP, drift. Then you've got power-ups, stamina, constitution.
Weirdly, okay, I'm going to stop you because it is fun. But yes, you almost hit the nail on the head with the first one. Basically, the new stat that's being sort of brought in is called haste, which is speed. So previously we had things like spell power, intellect, stamina, all these sorts of standard ones that you get, you know?
Yeah. I don't understand spell power. How's that? Is that like magic, basically?
It basically means your magic hits harder.
Okay.
Which is a good thing.
Is it your main magic stat?
Yeah, it's my main magic stat. Yeah.
Okay.
That and spell crit. Because we like
And what's
crits.
that? That's just your crit. Rate.
Yeah. Yeah, just a crit rating. And spell crit is different from hit crit, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the new stat is spell haste. You do get a little taste of it early on in TBC.
Yeah.
And basically it's now becoming a bit more widely available in these new raids. Okay? And I don't know why I said that. That was so patronising. Okay, yeah, you get me? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's it called? Haste, or is it spell haste?
Spell haste.
Okay.
You can get normal haste as well. Yeah.
Okay. I don't like. Haste is really annoying
Why is that?
because it's not like speed. Haste is like a rate, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think putting spell speed. Actually, that would work as well. It would work probably better. No, I entirely get where you're coming from.
Maybe we should drop an email to Microsoft and say, listen, now you're in charge. All that other stuff, yeah, sort that out. Yeah, Bobby has it, blah, blah, blah. But the biggest change you could make is, could you just rename spell haste spell speed, please?
That's all we want in life. No.
It's bugging a lot of your, one of your players and somebody who played once.
Yeah, played once, completed the game. Right, I've dropped you a little picture of the new staff that I've got, and basically it is one of the primary haste. What's it called? Staffs. It's called Zardom. Or Zardum.
They really do have a piece of software where they just.
Yeah. But that being said, it is one of
8 consonants, please, Carol.
Yeah. And an apostrophe. It's Zardom. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, sent you another picture. So it's basically a fell hunter but on a stick, or fell puppy, as because it looks a little bit like a little baby fell hunter. So the second picture I sent you sort of got the fell hound there as well.
For comparative purposes.
Yeah, exactly. And
I can concur, readers, that the staff does look like you took the fell dog thing and put a stick up its bum.
Yeah. But yeah,
he's not lying.
I was very, very lucky to get that on the first sort of drop of it as well.
What's the drop rate?
Oh, probably not brilliant. I mean, we've seen
an official category.
Yeah, we've seen 2, but there's loads of other things we've not seen as well. But yeah, it's. I was very, very happy. This is one of the reasons that I wanted to play a warlock, was to get that stick, and I got that stick. And
that's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm very, very happy to have that stick. I think you also see my outfit at the moment as well. I'm in full tier 5. Do I look like generic man? Because this was one of your complaints about my paladin. Just looked like a normal person walking about the streets, regardless of my outfits.
Yeah, no, I mean, you do look a little bit like 90s Games Workshop Chaos Marine.
Yes,
but
exactly.
You're a woman,
yeah.
which I think they only recently introduced. Because you got like big shoulders with spikes. Are there skulls on the spikes?
Skulls on the spikes with glowing red eyes as well.
You got glowing, you got a hood and glowing red eye, and then you even got like a chain tiara type thing around the head. Yeah, very, very 90s Warhammer.
Yeah.
John Blanche or John Blanchy type illustrations. Yeah.
So I mean, that is actually a thing in itself, because like tier 5 is not a great set. The set bonuses that are on it aren't fantastic.
Right.
That being said, the alternative is some other robes, which are called the Vestments of the Sea Witch, from the Naga woman in Serpent Shrine Cavern. and I do not like them. They are sort of this sort of rusty orange, and they've got like short sleeves, and they just look awful. They have a great stats on them. They have great spell crit on them. No haste. But yeah, I'm quite happy with my tier 5. I will be replacing it with tier 6 as soon as I can, for the next, because that's what's dropping in Black Temple and Mount Hyjal, which is the other raid.
Okay.
So Mount Hyjal is a complete reenactment of a Warcraft 3 campaign where Archimond, big evil guy, is draining the world tree, and so you race there, and you are yeah, I know.
I say when I go to the loo.
Draining the world tree.
Just gonna drain the world tree.
Yeah.
Might be a while.
And yeah, that is it's another instance. It's quite an interesting one. I can see us getting sick of it quite soon, though. It is basically waves upon waves of enemies, and then you fight a boss. But I actually really enjoy killing the waves, and I think it is quite enjoyable from a warlock perspective. I think.
Is it like Horde mode in Gears of War?
Essentially, yes. But it also allows for the classes who do AoE, and warlocks and mages are better at it, but warlocks are very, very good at it. It allows them just to shine and just go nuclear. It's just like boom, 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 boom. And now because I've got more haste, it's more boom, 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 which is more fun. You know, lots speedier, faster casts, faster ability to turn that round fast. Gotta go fast. And so very, very much I enjoy that, and especially because you get to see yourself improving every week as well. And yeah, the bosses are meh. They're not super engaging. There's one mechanic which really does mess you up, which is one boss will target and blow you up if you go below a certain amount of mana. And mana, you know, obviously is like the amount of spells that you can do and things like that. The gauge for it.
It's the blue one.
The blue one, yeah. And of course, as a warlock, it's very, very easy to drop down, but it's also super easy as a warlock to go back up because of the wonderful spell that warlocks have called Life Tap. Kill yourself a little bit, get some mana back, and it's pretty imba. But also, when you sitting there and you're turreting, firing shadow bolts at the boss, you sometimes like, oh shit, I really do need to look at my mana. Top it up. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, the other bosses are meh. I actually think the trash waves are more fun.
So that's out now, right?
Yep, that is out at the moment. So there's 2 new raids out at the moment: Black Temple and Mount Hyjal, and all new gear in those areas as well.
Okay.
So tier 6, 5 parts of tier 6 is available, and there is all of the new haste gear. There's Zardom, there's the legendary glaives for the warriors and the rogues, and there's a whole plethora of new items that loads of people more excited about. Definitely.
How's the mount situation these days? New mounts?
Yes, along with Black Temple came the Netherwing Drake quest chain, and these are basically sort of these proto drakes. I don't know what you want to call them, but yeah, they're sort of weird and purple, and they sort of, they're kind of smooth and interdimensional. I don't really they don't look like your classic normal dragons.
Is it like a wyvern?
No, they don't even really have scales. They've got like sort of salamander-esque look to them.
Oh, they look like that dragon from that not Pixar dragon film series.
Okay.
Do you know the one? It's huge. There's like...
How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah, looks like that.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so that's a dailies quest. You go around and you do that for a few weeks, and then you get a big purple or green dragon at the end of it.
A few weeks?
Yeah. Dailies. Daily quest.
Yeah, I don't think I'd bother. It's not a good mount, is it?
I haven't even touched it.
Really?
I've got my Cenarian Expedition one, which is basically a money flex more than anything. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I will do the Netherwing thing eventually at some point. I just I haven't felt inspired by it. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Something about it's got it's a horrible WoW purple.
I mean, don't knock the WoW purple. That's all the warlocks are about. Purple and green. They love it, man.
Yeah, it's just a bit nondescript.
I just don't like the way they aren't actual dragons. It bugs me a little bit.
Like a fishtail.
Yeah, fishy salamander fly thing rather than dragon. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, like they are quite iconic, which makes me think, yeah, I should get it definitely. But it's certainly better than the Nether Ray mount. I showed you a picture of that, didn't I?
I'm looking up now.
Yeah. Which is again another set of dailies, which take.
I quite like that actually.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Gobel from Monster Hunter. Yeah,
Right.
I'd definitely go for that one.
Yeah. I mean, I got it. I did those dailies, but it is firmly placed in my bank. And yeah, okay. Well.
It's a very Richie mount.
Yeah. I think there's actually a picture of it on that guy's Don't Go to UK with me flying about on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's got all the teeth, big head. Yeah, that's fun. Like another Ray.
Well, anyway, so I don't think there's any other mounts that came with that one. No.
Same. All quite the
They did actually, as part of the 6 months subscription, they gave you a vanity thing, which is a green pot, a green cauldron that you can make anywhere, and anyone can get some soup from it. And basically, it makes you belch, and horrible green stench comes out your mouth, which
is fun.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. Yeah.
What's the flavour behind that? Why that?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
like just reusing an asset, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was like a few of these things used to be like part of the WoW trading card game. You used to get things that you could get in the game as well.
What's it called? I'm gonna see if I can find the origin story of it.
Gumbo pot. I can't remember exactly.
Gumbo pot.
Gumbo. Gumbo.
Gumbo.
Yeah.
Pot.
WoW TBC. Yeah.
Goblin Gumbo kettle.
That's it.
Trivia.
Yeah, it's from the card game. Yeah.
Nice. Well guessed. Or well intuited.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. Annoyingly, you can't have it as well as a normal food buff. It takes over the food buff, and food buffs are too powerful to ignore. So it kind of is a moot thing. It's just I always carry it about with me just for the funds. We'll throw it down, you know. It's a shame. Yeah.
20-minute cooldown. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're done with describing, and now I can ask you some questions.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Fire away.
So, what's next?
What's next? Next is Zulaman.
Fuck's sake. Use another, you veto
Well,
20-year-old game.
if it makes you feel better.
No Zs, no more Zs, no more Js. Use the other letters.
If it makes you feel better, there was also Zul'Gurub in what's it called? WoW Classic. Zul basically is a troll zone.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another troll raid that's happening for the next patch. As we speak, the Zulaman patch, which is Phase 4, is on the PTR, the public test realm, which means it's between 1 and 2 months away, probably closer to 1 month, which is great because Hyle's actually quite a quick raid, so it'll be nice to have something else to sort of mix into it. The only downside with this one is Zulaman is actually not super... there's a few items that people want from it, but no, I don't think a lot of people are excited about it, because it's essentially a catch-up raid.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the items in it are basically just to allow you to go and raid Black Temple, and all of them are absolutely riddled with haste, which is really, really cool. The aesthetics of some of these items are quite questionable. So they're pretty ugly, but it's the trolls and stuff like that, so everything's quite tribal. So you get big wooden masks, sort of voodoo styley thing going on. I eat it up, but the actual cloth items for warlocks are awful. They just aren't very nice colours, and in fact there is the head that you can get from there is essentially just sort of a weird bone choker which has sort of like ribs coming out the back of your head. It's not great looking at all. So as much as I'm looking forward to it, because I really, really want to try and get a lot of haste on my character. And we'll probably try and hit some ridiculous cap at some point as well. I think a lot of people are just kind of like meh. Because we're still waiting for the final phase, which is Phase 5, which hasn't been announced, but it's probably going to come after summer. So I think it's going to be quite a bit of a gap before we actually get, or maybe during summer actually. It's going to be a bit of a gap doing Phase 3 and Phase 4 content together. The good news is, with Zulaman, is because it is a catch-up raid, get to mix it up, throw in some alts, get them geared up for funds, plays different roles, maybe bring back the Paladin. Remember the Paladin?
You deleted that character.
I did not delete the character.
You promised.
I did not promise.
On this.
I never promised that I was going to delete the character. Yeah. And yeah, so we're sort of starting to move towards the end of TBC. Along with this, one thing that I wanted to talk about with Warlocks, and it came up actually in quite a fun video, is like Warlocks have been chasing mages for DPS, or the top spot in DPS, for a long time. Don't get me wrong, there are other classes. It's just that the Warlocks and mages, because they're both cloth caster types, there's a bit more of a rivalry going on. And back in Classic, there was like always talk about, all we need is a little bit more hit and we'll beat you. And then it was like, okay, that's a bit lackluster, and no, we're still threat capped, so we can't beat you. And then there was like, but yeah, we've got this brand new tier coming out, and it's going to definitely help us beat you. Oh no, you're still ahead, because we can't get past that certain level and all this sort of stuff. And In TBC, there was a lot of hype about Warlocks going into it. It was just kind of like, hey, yeah, Warlocks is finally our time to shine. But as soon as we started, there's a whole new meta for mages, the Arcane Mage, and they have absolutely taken the top spot all the time. But now that we've got haste, it might be the time for the Warlock to shine. Might be.
And so, what came out after TBC back in the day?
Wrath of the Lich King.
Yes. And has there been like a BlizzCon or whatever? Has there been any hint that will follow, or
there's not been any hints, but I think it's a granted at this point. Like, if you're gonna do the World of Warcraft Classic, the main three you would definitely do would be Classic, TBC, and Wrath of the Lich King. After Wrath of the Lich King came Warcraft Cataclysm, where they basically redid everything. So the whole world got whole new zones. There was new quests. There was a whole bunch of new things added. New classes, new class race combinations and things like that. So you could have like a troll warlock or a troll druid or human hunter and things like that. And yeah, when they did that, it just sort of changed everything, and you could have flying in Azeroth where you couldn't do that before. And I think it just sort of changed the whole platform itself. I would say that potentially that having, TBC, Wrath of the Lich King, and then maybe there'll be a Cataclysm Classic. I don't know. But it feels like if they're going to do anything classic, it would be those three. And maybe...
What's the... What are the players like? What's the player count?
Player count?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
How many active players are there across all servers at the moment?
Well, Blizzard keep that number close to their chest.
Yeah.
So, of course, with every World of Warcraft subscription, you're paying for the latest version of the game, which is Shadowlands, and I think there's a new expansion to be announced in April. But you get the classic stuff for free as well. Essentially, my subscription is only for classic. I never touch Shadowlands, not interested in it at all, or any of the later expansions. I'm just enjoying the classic experience.
What about if they give you free shit? You log into that and claim it.
Oh, I've got tons of free shit from it. Don't care.
What about like promotional?
I got a gold flying pig for the Year of the Pig lunar thing last year.
Mm-hmm.
A rat or something like that.
Do you even have to log in, or can you just do that from the menu screen?
I have no idea. I hope it's from the menu screen because I haven't logged in. Not that I have zero investment in modern WoW. Like, people tell me little snippets of who's alive and what's happening in the story, and it's just like, I don't even get this anymore. And apparently playing the game, it's quite it's hard to describe. There's a lot of things being added to it. So there's the ability to pay for WoW tokens, so you can use real money to kind of buy in-game money. And also there's things like the top level of raiding and dungeon raiding. It's quite hard, it's quite challenging, but it's like if you miss a single lockout, you are behind the curve. So there's kind of like an incentive that you have to do this every 3 days or something like that. I have no idea, and I nah, I'm not interested. It doesn't even sound fun for a casual player, you know. So I've stepped away from retail, as it's called. So retail versus classic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we've covered it.
Yeah.
12 episodes previously.
I'm pretty much I'm enjoying classic for what it is at the moment. And I mean, a lot of this content is new to me as well. Like, I never did Mount Hyjal and Black Temple, so this is actually not even nostalgia anymore. It's fun new experience, and of course it's the community. Shout outs to the guild, because that's why I'm still playing and enjoying it.
But that was going to be my next question. How's the dads?
The dads are good.
And mums.
The dads and mums. Dad guild is a blanket term for everyone, you know. But the patriarchy owns it, you know.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, it's everyone's good. There has been a few people leaving, and literally, we recently had someone leave because he has to take on more dadly responsibilities. And so, yeah, I mean, it comes and goes, ebbs and flows. We've got a good bunch of people. Not too many troublemakers, other than myself. But yeah.
Are you a cheeky troublemaker in the guild?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm the.
Oh look, there's Richie again.
Oh no!
Trying to do stuff that his class isn't meant to do.
that is incredibly apt. Incredibly apt. I think that's pretty much what I was doing for.
And then you get marched back to a spot, and with the cross spray painted on it. Like, here's
a
spot.
naughty step. Yeah.
Here's where you stand, and you do your spells, whatever it is you do, and you don't move, and you don't run in, you don't do that, you don't move there. That's your job.
Did you see the video that I sent to you of the shot through the heart thing?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. So you move forward, you don't do the thing. Yeah. So yeah, I was silly.
And then what was your response when you got one hit KO'd by the boss?
I apologised profusely immediately.
He said, "Oh, was it?" I don't think he swore, which is unlike you. Like, I'm an idiot. Sorry.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah. That's actually it's been adopted in the guild as well. Like, I'm an idiot. Yeah. Which is a good legacy.
Any new blood in the guild?
Oh yeah, we've got plenty of new blood. There's definitely been some new additions. We had some new warlocks joined. They're not even new now. They're staple parts of the community. We've had quite a few people, new people joining, new voices, new fun.
And what's your current schedule?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Still Tuesdays, Thursdays.
Yeah. And that's it.
And are you logging in much more than that?
Yeah. I mean, I still play about maybe on other characters and just sort of just play about on little things. I don't really make like a commitment to do. I'm not going to raid. I'm not going to have alts that are going to other raids and stuff like that. I tried to just keep it to those raid days. Like the guild does have like off days, Mondays actually, but I've got other commitments on a Monday. Farley, yeah.
Well, I hope you spend that time wisely.
And like Sunday nights as well. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, the weird thing is, with all of the current raids, they all have weekly lockouts. But
what is a lockout? You have to explain that.
Okay, so when you go into a raid and you defeat one boss character, you are then locked to that raid for an entire week. So ideally what you want to do is you want to go into the raid and kill all of the bosses, and then you wait till the next week when it resets, and then you can do it all again. Does that make sense?
So hang on, when you So you can't. You're locked. You can't do that boss again.
You can't do that boss again that week.
Okay, right. That makes sense.
So the raids lockouts reset every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So on Thursday we go and do Black Temple. On Tuesday we'll do Mount Highel and whatever else. Then it resets and then we'll go back and we'll do Black Temple. But, and here's the big thing here. Zulaman's on a 3-day lockout, which just messes things up. It's such a ridiculous number as well. So it's kind of like, if it, you know what 3 days? It's not a week. So 1 week it'll reset on a Tuesday, and then
thanks for explaining that.
Yeah. 1 week it'll reset on a Tuesday. The next week it'll reset on a Monday, and and in between each time, just like it's a little annoying. But it does mean that you do get a chance to raid both of them. So if we manage to finish Black Temple in under 2 hours, then we can just scoot off to Zulaman and get another run through of that. And it's good fun. Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Normally we end the WoW episode with some predictions. So
predictions.
You can predict what your build's going to be. What you're looking for.
Well, actually, speaking about my build, I've kind of I previously sort of mentioned that I was going down the destruction side of things. Yeah, we talked about the different specs, and specifically, I was very, very much into fire.
Yeah.
But in order for
you said that's what's going to give warlocks the edge.
Oh yeah, it definitely is and would be. It is the top, or was the top damage for single targets, but warlocks are much better at hitting lots of things, in a very, very basic term. Also, it only works if you have a mage who does fire, but as I previously alluded to, there's no fire mages anymore. They're all arcane, so there's no such thing as a fire warlock, because you need a fire mage in order to perform. And we've kind of got past the point of where fire mages are the top DPS, because basically in the previous 2 raids you needed to be doing AoE damage in order to do things, area of effect, and it's just pointless to be fire. And now, with haste coming on board and the new tier 6 set bonuses, Shadow's pretty much just caught up to fire. So there's no point in fire as a specific tree anymore. In fact, what's actually a little bit sad is my rotation, as in my spell rotation, is going to reduce to just one spell, which is Shadow Bolt, over and over and over. No curses, no anything else. It's just going to be boom, 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 which is so massively different from many of the other classes in the game. Not arcane mages, they just do arcane blast over and over. But yeah, it's it is where it is, and yeah. So that's sort of moving in that direction. A bit more of the shadow, or indeed just entirely shadow now, and yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. Getting better every time, doing lots of damage in the raids, which is good fun. But yeah, predictions. Well, it's a bit odd because once Zulaman's done, the final raid comes out, which is Sunwell, and with it comes an island which has dailies on it. It has some new gear, new craftables, and it also has a new dungeon, which is quite cool, called Magister's Terrace, which is, basically, I know, a pretty balcony with mages on it.
Very colonial.
But no, it's quite, they are good, and the final boss character, Kill Jaden, gonna be a big fun battle, and looking forward to getting through all of that. And there isn't that much I'm excited about gear wise from Sunwell. There's the final bits of Tier 6, but doesn't really offer anything other than the flexibility to change around your items around it. There's a couple of new tailoring things. As a tailor, I'm excited to do it, but the moment I make that final tailoring thing, there is no reason to still be a tailor. So I don't know what's going to happen after that, if anything. And that's it, really. We'll see what happens. Predictions-wise, I don't really have that much to predict. I think we'll probably see some announcement or release of Wrath of the Lich King by the end of this year. But I still don't know where I stand on Wrath of the Lich King. I think part of what would keep me going is if the guild community was still there. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, I'll dip into it or continue on. But if I think if other people are not into it, or if there isn't enough of a structure, i.e. like raid leaders or whatever and things like that, then it might not be worth it. I also don't know what I would do. Something that I've been thinking about is just like, if I was to go into Wrath of the Lich King, what class would I be? What characters would I be? You know, what would I stay as the warlock? Would I go back to the paladin, or would I just try a whole new different class? And honestly, I haven't even landed on anything. Nothing has sprung out at me as, oh yes, I definitely want to do that. Which makes me wonder, like, you know, do I want to play Wrath of the Lich King?
Yeah, I mean, that's a standard prediction for you, is to
sit in the fence.
Entertain vagaries that you might quit and then not.
Well, no, I like
because you weren't sure about TBC. To be fair, do you remember?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was not sure, and it was really just the drive of like the community that I was part of, the other addicts. no. But yeah, it was really the drive. I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm excited about this, and like, oh, I've got an option to be a warlock. This is something I've always wanted to do. Cool. Like, let's move on and move forward with this. But with Wrath of the Lich King, it's like, what do I want to do? Do I want to switch classes? Do I want to continue down the warlock path? I honestly don't know, and I wonder if that is telling of what I want to do next. I don't mean to sound sad. Like, I think I would enjoy whatever I did if Wrath of the Lich King was a thing that I moved on to. The thing is with it is, like, I did play a little bit of Wrath of the Lich King. It wasn't super engaging. So the first raid that Wrath of the Lich King has is actually a simplified version of Naxxramas, which, if you remember, is the final raid in Classic. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which would be like, alright, okay, great, I can go into this with 10 people and do the whole things all over again. Get new gear for level 80. And I don't know, like, looking at it from a different perspective, I don't know how appealing it is to go and do Naxxramas again. But you know what, it might just be fun. And then there's the next thing, which is called Trial of the Crusader, which is a raid, but not really a raid. There's a lot of faffery, and you get given mounts and things like that. There's a lot of stuff like that in Wrath of the Lich King, which is sort of moves it away from a solid standard raid. And it's quite weird because within the guild there are people who are actually what are called wrath babies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about this term?
No, I don't.
So these are people who came into World of Warcraft at Wrath of the Lich King, who started the game at the third expansion, and so they are super hyped because this is the real nostalgia for them.
Yeah.
You know, this is when the game got good, according to them. Whereas I don't know. I suppose there's a lot of things that they change about the game. They introduce dual spec. They introduce achievements. They introduce lots of other little things here and there for quality of life. They introduce new stats as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think a lot of the rotations become a bit more complex because ultimately they don't get rid of old skills; they just add to new ones. So, or add new ones, yeah.
I mean, it's the same with again to reminisce on how lucky we are in the with the generation where
Yeah.
you know we've pretty much seen the entirety of decent gaming. You get the same in particularly these long-lived series like the fourth generation Pokemon games have just been remade, and some people were insanely happy because that's the game that they started playing.
And that's exactly that. And I mean, I don't have the fondest of memories of Wrath of the Lich King. I just remember it being because there's stupid things in it as well. Really, really stupid things. There's walrus people. There's like new Murlocs that you can be factions with. There's little Wolverine people, as in actual animal Wolverines.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always that kind of flavour that they have because they've got the pandas and stuff like that, and of course the Taurens, the big cow people. And I don't know, when you're facing off against this evil army of the undead and this whole thing about Arthas and the Lich King and all that sort of stuff, and then you're picking berries out of the poop of a Murloc. You're just kind of like, what is this game? And I don't know, like I mean, who knows what will happen. What are your predictions? Based on what I've said, what do you think I'll end up doing?
Who knows?
Don't care.
You'll probably play as a female character.
Yep, more than likely.
I reckon you might do another class.
You reckon I might do another class?
Yeah.
Why is that?
That's what you did last time.
Oh, okay. Safe bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I feel like I'm ending this show on a bit of a downer.
No, I don't think so. I think
No.
you're in the same spot last time.
Same spot last time. Anyway, yes. Having fun with TBC, killing Illidan, killing Archimonde, getting tier 6, getting faster, stronger, other Daft Punk song lyrics every time, and yeah, generally I'm enjoying TBC an awful lot. Can't wait for Zulaman because I do want to live out my haste dreams, and yeah, Sunwell is just around the corner. Before we know it, kill Jaden.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about WoW. Did you have anything you want to talk about this week? No, you're just very, very glad that I'm going to stop talking, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right. That guy's a maniac.
Why do you bite me?